Before you turn 80, do these 7 things at all costs to avoid a miserable old age. Elderly wisdom. As the years pass, many people begin to wonder if they've truly lived or merely watched time slip away. It's not the wrinkles or slower steps that weigh most. It's the quiet ache of missed chances and fading purpose. Studies in 2025 reveal a rising wave of loneliness among older adults, even as medical advances promise longer lives. Living longer means little if joy and connection fade with time. But here's what most forget. It's never too late to rebuild meaning, health and peace. Because after 80, it's not your body that gives up first. It's something else entirely. In this video, you'll discover the 7 essential things every person should do before turning 80. Not to chase youth, but to secure peace, strength and fulfillment in the years ahead. These aren't empty promises or complicated routines. They're proven habits that can protect your body, sharpen your mind, and rekindle the sense of purpose that too many people lose with age. We'll count down from 7 to 1, revealing practical, powerful changes that make the difference between merely growing old and truly living well. You'll learn how to preserve your independence, deepen your connections, and wake up each morning with genuine motivation. Because the truth is, life after 60 doesn't have to feel like a slow fade. It can be a powerful new chapter if you know where to focus your energy. Each point builds on the last, forming a blueprint that hundreds of studies and countless wise elders have shown to lead to happier, healthier later years. By the end, you'll see that longevity is not just about adding years to your life, but adding life to your years. So stay with me as we count down these 7 life-changing habits. You might be surprised how simple choices made today can completely transform the way you experience tomorrow. For many people, the challenges of aging don't come all at once. They arrive quietly, disguised as ordinary moments. It begins with the mornings that feel heavier than they used to, when getting out of bed takes a little more convincing. The coffee still brews, the clock still ticks, but the excitement that once filled the day seems to fade. The phone doesn't ring as often, and even when it does, there's hesitation to answer because the conversations don't feel the same anymore. Little by little, routines turn into ruts. What used to be favorite pastimes, tending the garden, attending gatherings, reading the newspaper at the park, start to feel optional, even exhausting. You tell yourself it's just age, that it's normal to slow down, but deep down, something feels off. It's not just your energy that's slipping, it's your sense of purpose. Many people ignore these quiet warnings. A dull ache in the back, a dizzy spell, a missed meal. Small signs that the body is asking for care. Or the gradual distance between friends, a gap that widens not because of conflict, but because no one made the effort to bridge it. Over time, this neglect doesn't just affect the body, it weakens the spirit. And when the days start blending together, it's easy to believe this is simply what growing older means. To feel forgotten, to lose relevance, to quietly wait for the years to pass. But that belief is one of the biggest traps of aging. Because aging in itself isn't the enemy. The real danger lies in stopping the effort to grow, to connect, to care for yourself, to find meaning in each sunrise. Recent health reports emphasize that emotional and social decline often begins years before physical decline. It's not just the heart that weakens, it's the motivation that drives it. The body follows where the spirit leads, and when that spirit grows weary, even the strongest person can begin to feel fragile. But here's the truth. These signals, the loneliness, the fatigue, the disinterest, aren't proof that your best days are over. They're messages from your inner self urging you to pay attention, to make a change before it's too late. Life still holds possibilities, new friendships, renewed health, deeper peace, but they only unfold when you choose to act. It's never too late to restart something that matters, to call someone you've missed, to learn something new, or to simply take a walk and feel the world around you again. The smallest effort, repeated daily, can reignite the spark that aging often dims. So before you assume the joy is gone, or the strength has faded, pause and ask yourself one simple question. What if turning things around could start with just one small decision? There was a woman named Clara, a retired teacher who had spent most of her life caring for others, her students, her children, and eventually her grandchildren. But when her husband passed away and the kids grew busy with their own families, the house that once buzzed with laughter grew silent. Days blurred together. She followed the same pattern. Wake up, make tea, sit by the window, and watch the world move on without her. At first, she told herself she was simply adjusting to a slower pace. But months turned into years, and that quiet comfort turned into isolation. The once vibrant woman who used to inspire others now avoided mirrors, avoided calls, avoided plans. She felt invisible, not because people had forgotten her, but because she had stopped showing up for life. One morning, she read an article about how isolation among seniors was now being called a silent epidemic. It mentioned that loneliness could affect health as deeply as smoking or obesity. That startled her, not because of fear, but because she suddenly saw herself in every word. She realized she had slowly disconnected from the very things that once made her feel alive. That same week, she made a choice, small, almost insignificant at first. She decided to take a short walk every morning around her neighborhood. No grand plan, no fitness goal, just movement. The first day felt awkward, the second a little better. By the third week, she started greeting familiar faces. And one day, a young mother at the park smiled and said, "I see you walking every morning. You inspire me." That single comment changed everything. Clara began to reconnect, not just with others, but with herself. She joined a small book club at the local library, something she had once loved but abandoned. Soon she found herself laughing again, learning again, and even mentoring a few young people who admired her wisdom. She realized something profound. It wasn't youth she missed. It was connection. The feeling of being part of something, of giving and receiving energy, of mattering to others. Her body grew stronger, her mood lighter, and her days fuller, all because she made one small decision to step outside her own silence. People around her started noticing the change. Her children said she sounded more like her old self, cheerful, engaged, alive. But Clara would smile and say, "I'm not who I was before. I'm better. I finally learned how to live my own life again." Her transformation wasn't about reversing age, it was about reviving spirit. And that's the power of simple, intentional change. It turns existence back into living. So, what did Clara do differently? And how can you follow the same path to rediscover meaning and joy before 80? You're about to see. Let's explore the 7 essential things you should do before turning 80. Not to hold on to youth, but to live your later years with purpose, strength, and peace. These aren't drastic changes. They're gentle shifts that, over time, can completely transform how you experience aging. Every one of these steps builds on the next, helping you protect your health, nurture your spirit, and leave behind something that truly lasts. 1. Health. The power of small daily consistency. Your body doesn't ask for perfection, it asks for attention. The greatest mistake people make as they age is assuming health must decline naturally. The truth? Most decline begins not from aging itself, but from neglecting the small, steady habits that protect vitality. A simple morning routine, stretching your legs, drinking water before coffee, taking a brief walk, may seem trivial, but it's your body's lifeline. Studies in 2025 continue to confirm that 20 to 30 minutes of gentle movement daily lowers heart disease risk, boosts mood, and improves balance. Even a slow stroll after meals helps digestion and sleep quality. Prioritize foods that fuel you: fruits, vegetables, whole grains, healthy fats. You don't need complicated diets. Your plate just needs color and freshness. Health isn't built in hospitals, it's built in kitchens and morning habits. Remember, your future strength depends on today's smallest choices. 2. Relationships. Heal the distance. Before time does, one of the deepest regrets many express later in life isn't losing money or status, it's losing connection. Over the years, small misunderstandings, pride or silence can grow into walls between loved ones. Before 80, commit to breaking one of those walls down. Call an old friend. Write a letter. Say, "I forgive you," or "I'm sorry." These few words have the power to lift years of emotional weight. Emotional isolation is one of the most damaging conditions for seniors. It quietly harms both the heart and the mind. But reconnection rebuilds something far more powerful than time can erode: belonging. It's not about fixing every broken bond. It's about softening one hard place in your heart. Connection doesn't always start with others. Sometimes it starts with you choosing to love without needing to win. 3. Purpose. Give your days meaning again. Purpose is oxygen for the soul. When we lose structure or responsibilities, life can start to feel like endless empty hours. But having a purpose, even a small one, transforms routine into meaning. Purpose could be mentoring younger people, volunteering, teaching a skill, tending a garden, or caring for your home. It could be spiritual, creative, or deeply personal. The scale doesn't matter, the consistency does. Research consistently shows that seniors who have something meaningful to do each day report higher energy, lower stress, and a longer lifespan. Purpose also protects against loneliness and depression. It gives you a reason to get up, to dress up, and to show up. It gives each morning direction and each evening satisfaction. 4. Learning. Keep the mind alive. Through curiosity. Your brain loves to grow. It never stops learning unless you tell it to. The secret to a sharp mind isn't luck, it's curiosity. Picking up new skills or revisiting old passions keeps the brain flexible, improving memory and emotional well-being. Try reading a new book each month, learning an instrument, joining a discussion group, or exploring a subject you've always been curious about. Learn how to use technology to stay connected with family, or to explore the world from your living room. Every time you challenge your brain, you build new neural connections that strengthen your resilience against cognitive decline. A curious mind is a youthful mind. It stays awake, aware, and open to wonder. 5. Movement. Rediscover the joy of being in your body. Forget rigid exercise plans or gym memberships. What your body craves is joyful, natural movement, the kind that reminds you you're still alive. Dance to your favorite song. Tend your garden. Walk barefoot on grass. Stretch slowly with gratitude for the body that still carries you. Movement boosts circulation, strengthens muscles, and floods your brain with endorphins, nature's antidepressant. But it's also emotional. Moving with joy releases trapped energy from worry, grief, or fear. It reminds you that motion is a gift, not a chore. You don't have to work out. You just have to move out of stillness, out of stagnation, out of the mindset that your body's best days are behind you. Movement brings presence. Every step, sway, or stretch whispers, you're still here and you still matter. 6. Gratitude. Transform the way you see life. By the time we reach our later years, it's easy to count what's been lost. Friends, health, opportunities. But gratitude flips that story. It doesn't deny pain. It transforms it into perspective. Start each morning with 3 things you're thankful for, no matter how small. It could be the warmth of sunlight, a grandchild's smile, or the quiet peace of your home. Gratitude resets your emotional balance. It lowers stress, improves sleep, and reminds you that beauty still exists in every chapter. When you live in gratitude, comparison fades. You stop wishing for the past and start embracing the present. Gratitude teaches you that happiness doesn't come from what you have. It comes from how you see. You've now learned 6 essential choices that can shape a vibrant, fulfilling life before 80. Choices that protect your health, strengthen your relationships, and renew your sense of purpose. But there is one final step, and it's the most powerful of them all. It has nothing to do with how much money you've saved, how many steps you take each day, or how strong your body feels. This one goes much deeper. It's the quiet difference between those who reach their later years with peace and those who don't. Many people spend their final decades perfecting everything on the outside, adjusting routines, managing health, organizing finances, hoping that peace will follow. But true peace doesn't come from control. It comes from release. The truth is, most people don't lose joy because of aging. They lose it because of what they still carry inside. Regret, resentment, unspoken apologies, memories that were never fully laid to rest. Time alone doesn't heal those wounds. It simply buries them deeper. And eventually, those old emotions start whispering into your daily life, through fatigue, restlessness, or that constant feeling that something is unfinished. You may have felt it yourself, the sense that even with comfort and stability, part of your heart still feels unsettled. That is why this final action matters so much. It is not about preserving your youth, but about reclaiming your peace. Because at a certain age, peace becomes the greatest form of strength there is. It allows you to wake up without the heavy weight of the past, to forgive yourself for what you didn't know, and to accept life, not as perfect, but as complete. This last step is what separates those who grow old with calm wisdom from those who grow old with quiet regret. It is what lets you look back on your journey and finally feel gratitude instead of grief. And the most powerful part? It's a choice you can still make today. No matter your age, your story, or your past, this one final act can redefine everything that comes next. Because the last thing to do before 80 isn't about your body or your wallet, it's about your heart. And once you understand it, you'll see that peace isn't something you wait for. It's something you choose. Stay with me, because in the next part, we'll uncover this final truth that transforms aging from a process of losing into a journey of becoming whole. And here it is, the final, most powerful truth: forgiveness. Not the kind you give because someone deserves it, but the kind you choose because you deserve peace. Forgiveness isn't about forgetting the past or pretending pain didn't happen. It's about refusing to let those old wounds decide how you live the rest of your life. When you let go of anger, guilt, or disappointment, something remarkable happens. The weight you've been carrying quietly lifts, and life begins to feel lighter again. Forgiveness, both toward others and yourself, is the key that unlocks joy in later years. It allows you to breathe without bitterness, to smile without pretending, and to finally experience calm without waiting for life to be perfect. And when you combine that with the other 6 habits, caring for your health, reconnecting with people, living with purpose, staying curious, moving with joy, and practicing gratitude, you create a foundation that no hardship can easily shake. This isn't just about aging gracefully, it's about living freely. It's realizing that your story isn't over just because you've seen many seasons. In fact, it might be entering its most meaningful chapter. The peace that comes from these 7 choices isn't loud or dramatic. It shows up quietly, in restful sleep, in laughter that feels genuine, in mornings where you wake up feeling thankful instead of tired. Release what no longer serves you. And remember this, it's never too late to change the story of your life. You can still choose peace over pain, connection over isolation, gratitude over regret. Because no matter your age, as long as you're still here, there's still time to begin again. And to make these years not just the longest, but the most beautiful of your life. Growing older isn't about counting the years. It's about making the ones ahead truly count. Every sunrise is a new chance to live with meaning, to forgive, to connect, and to celebrate the wisdom you've earned through time. If this message touched you, share it with someone who deserves a joyful and peaceful old age too. You might just change their day. And don't stop here. Like, subscribe, and join our community of people choosing to live wiser, not just longer. The house that once buzzed with laughter grew silent.